Today on the Topic Show, a leftist woman is scared that she will match her Trump supporters if she were to join a dating app. Psaki says that men and women's sports is not an issue, while a man recently paralyzed a woman in a volleyball match. Some Democrats say that they will support Elon and Vivek's Department of Government Efficiency. Brandon Herrera, aka the akguy, says that he is open for the head of the ATF. McDonald's to spend $100 million on marketing after the E. coli outbreak. The Nvidia AI chip has a little bit of a heating issue. And the Toyota 86 and Subaru BRZ are now subject to a class action lawsuit. All of that and much, much more on The Topping Show. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. I say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, it does come with a Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have McDonald's to spend $100 million after the E. coli outbreak. Now, for those who were not aware, McDonald's had E. coli outbreak so bad that some people did in fact pass away, and some people, well, many people, did in fact get sick. And now McDonald's is wondering, how do we gain customers back? That being said, I can't but wonder, most people kind of, I'm not saying it's a 50% chance, but I think everyone knows by eating at McDonald's, there's a not 0% chance in general that you're going to get sick. But I partially digress. This comes to us thanks to Jordan Valinsky, who's a writer over at CNN Business, which somehow still in business. I'm probably about one of 10 people who check out their website. Now they say, quote, McDonald's to spend $100 million to lure customers back after an E. coli outbreak. And there you can see, I was gonna say, definitely a marketing picture. I don't think this is an actual picture of someone going to a store and getting a McDonald's hamburger, but yeah, there is a McDonald's hamburger on the screen there. Now, scrolling into the substance of the article, they say, quote, McDonald's is spending more than $100 million on marketing to help franchisees who are affected by the outbreak that has sickened more than 100 people and damaged sales. In a memo sent to employees and obtained by CNN, McDonald's is spending $35 million on marketing, which includes a value-added deal focusing on chicken nuggets, plus $65 million direct towards franchisees that have lost business in states where the outbreak happened, which, and that's also a good way to avoid any lawsuits from those franchisee owners. I'm not sure, how much ground there is to stand on in that regard, because again, there's a lot of terms and conditions that come with being a franchisee owner. But yeah, definitely a good show of faith to the folks who own those brick and mortar stores. Now, they say that visits and sales took a massive nosedive in October after the CDC and Food and Drug Administration said that the fresh silvered onions served in the quarter pounders were likely the source of the E. coli outbreak. They say that more than 100 people got sick across 14 states. Several lawsuits have been filed against the chain, and that shares of McDonald's slipped by about 7% past month, which, yeah, that's not good. You definitely want to be at least be in the S&P 500. Granted, again, not financial advice. Now, they say, quote, the relevance, trust, and love for the Golden Arches has been hard-earned after nearly 70 years of our unwavering commitment to do the right thing. The past 3 weeks have only further exemplified that. This, again, was a memo signed by Michael Gonda, the chain's Chief Impact Officer for North America, and Tariq Hassan, the Chief Marketing and Customer Experience Officer. They said McDonald's has said recent tests showed no E. coli in its food, and in the memo noted its quarter pounder burgers topped with the silvered onions are now back on the menus nationwide, which, again, previously, a couple weeks ago, they actually took it off a lot of those menus altogether. In a recent earnings call after the outbreak, CEO Chris Kaminsky said the chain is, quote, ready to do more if we need to in order to make sure we're bringing back the full resources of McDonald's to win back customers. The new marketing campaign includes television ads touting a 10-piece Chicken McNugget deal for $1. That's pretty good. That can be redeemed weekly in an app until early next month. The chain also is continuing the successful $5 meal, which, again, it's kind of artificial. They're not actually making a profit on that. That is heavily subsidized by a lot of the suppliers like Coca-Cola. So it's getting a lot of people back in the door. And granted, they're making it so you have to buy it through the app because they want to collect your data, and data is king. And every company wants to be a tech company, even if they're a French food company. But Yeah, you saw this when they had the really large adoption rate of the McDonald's app when they just had a free French fries with every person or every instance where you download the app to your phone, which dramatically did help increase the adoption rate and rolled that app out pretty quick. And yeah, I wonder, will this get people back in the door? I mean, again, I haven't been to McDonald's in a couple of decades. I'm not sure, if this is a good deal, but it sounds like a good deal. The 10-piece McNuggets for $1. But again, it's not long term. This is a campaign that they're spending money. So the franchisee owners, thankfully they're not going into the negative, but the parent company is kind of bailing them out and facilitating for this to happen. Now, it'll be interesting to see if this gets turned around next couple of weeks, couple of months. I mean, what would it take to get? That's a good question, actually. What would it take for you to go back to McDonald's? I meuld, shoot, I haven't been there for a couple of decades. Definitely not my preference, but was this enough to get you interested to go to McDonald's again? I mean, for a couple months, I mean, shoot, mid 2024, the comical receipts are shown online where you have people spending $20, $30 to $40 for just a trip to McDonald's, which is ludicrously expensive. But let me know, is this enough to get you interested enough to go back and shop there and maybe eat one of their burgers? As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have the Nvidia the AI chips are doing great, except they have some heating issues. So we're going to have to do some redesigns. This comes to us thanks to Riva Gold, who's a writer over at LinkedIn News. And there you can see the CEO and founder, Jensen, on the stage there holding the iconic AI Blackwell chip, which ironically is not very well at all. Now, she says, quote, Nvidia's new Blackwell graphics processing units for artificial intelligence have faced an issue with overheating, prompting the company to ask suppliers to change the design of their server racks, which, yep, that's like translating this to like kind of more relatable automobile metaphor. It's almost like making a new engine for the vehicle and then going to GM or going to other companies going, oh yeah, we need to redesign the frame of the vehicle. It'll fit in there, but not well. Now, the information reports citing anonymous employees and customers, the snag is feeling worries and other potential delay to using the highly anticipated chips. Per the report, Nvidia, now the world's biggest publicly traded company by market cap, is set to report its quarterly earnings. Expectations are sky high, and forecasts are 83% year-over-year growth of top line and bottom line compared to a year earlier, which, yeah, they're growing like a weed. Let's see here. Here you can see one of those giant rack mount servers. And this you actually see the back end with all the fiber channel being shot in there. I don't really know how many processing powers and teraflops and banana falcons. I'm kidding. I'm not going to dive into the actual speeds and feeds of the technology, but yeah, it's actually from Michael Dell saying, "quote the first in the world Nvidia GB200 MVL72 server racks are now shipping. We're thrilled to deliver our liquid-cooled PowerEdge XE9712 to CoreWeave. The AI and HPC rocket just got a massive boost, which, yeah, that looks pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not sure. Now it'll be interesting to see what's the adoption rate of the community in terms of the suppliers. How quickly can they redesign it? How dramatic of a redesign does it need to be? Do you just need to add a little bit more cooling or more airflow to it? Is this something that's going to cost a lot of money, and even worse, delay the rollout and the adoption rate and the new chips? That's not good news for the company. And again, there's almost a joke in terms of the whole economy is propped up by Nvidia because, again, they're the largest, most valuable company out there in the United States these days. And I mean, again, the technology is great, and the adoption is becoming more widespread with pretty much every tech company having a component of AI plugged in there one way or another. But let me know, do you think, how fast can they redesign these servers and the server chassis? Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think it'll be a big, do you think in the short term, will it just throttle the capabilities in terms of, not running it at full speeds and feeds? Or will it just, pause everyone's adoption rates altogether? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the culture podcast, you have a leftist woman that is scared she will match with Trump supporters if she were to join dating apps. Which, spoiler alert, if she matches with a man, well, statistically speaking, yeah, he probably would be a Trump supporter. Now, this comes with thanks to Livs of TikTok, in which she says, quote, she's scared to go on dating apps because she can be matched with a Trump supporter. Heaven forbid. And, yeah, one might argue she's not going to get many matches in general, but another topic for another time, perhaps. Let's hear what she has to say. And I was going to say, have the earmuffs for the children, because I'm pretty sure she does, in true leftist fashion, break down and use explicitive language.
realized that I'm too scared to use dating apps now. I want to go on it, and I just, every message and every profile just makes me think that it could be somebody like that's emboldened by Trump. And the profile was so normal that I would never know.
Yeah. Now, she does have text on the screen that says, quote, she uses an expletive. I try to keep it moderately family friendly. She says, quote, F Trump and everyone who voted for him for taking my sense of security away from me. Which, yeah, she must not care about border security or physical security in that regard, but I partially digress. Perhaps I need to add a MAGA hat to my dating profiles. Maybe that will help increase the adoption rate of prospective girlfriends. Maybe. Leave me in the comments. Should I do that? Add the MAGA hat? Now, interestingly enough, I'm not sure how many answers she would actually get, but yeah, when you look at men and women and who they usually vote for, yeah, unless she goes for like the rudimentary, it's kind of simplistic to say, but the traditional soy boy, but yeah, he probably has there are some probably white boys for Harris on the dating apps. Don't get me wrong, there is a sample size of them out there, mostly in San Francisco and Austin, Texas, I would guess on average, but yeah, she's having a mental breakdown, and I really hope some of these are fake or some of these are just her trying to get internet fame, because if she's authentically feeling this way, that just shows how mentally weak she is, and also concerning that these people can vote when, again, she's an adult, apparently a legal adult who can vote and in theory pay taxes and in theory contribute to society, breaking down and crying because somebody voted differently than her. Which, yeah. Now, this went pretty viral, as youth might say. Got about 3.3 million views and 40,000 likes. I thought I can get to 41,000. Nevertheless, still got 40,000 likes. One of the first comments comes from Gunther Eagleman, who says, quote, they need to seek real help, gain 1.3 thousand likes. I think we'll probably see a couple of these make Asylums great again in the comment section. Democrat Media TM also says, I have a solution for her for how to avoid it by a Trump supporter. And there's someone saying, shave her head, gain 2,000 likes. I don't think she needs to do that. She'll probably repel quite many men. Valentina Gomez says, yuck, getting 615 likes. Planet of Memes, unfortunately, did not use a meme today, saying, quote, talk about being a fragile snowflake, getting 745 likes. It is funny, on the dating apps, there are some girls who just in the profile says no MAGA or no Trumpers. Which, again, don't get me wrong, you have to have some shared values, understand why you'd want to have someone who voted for the same political party or same political individual. But it's funny that they just put it out there straight there, that completely disqualifies them. Let me know if you've seen that as well, if you're trying to find the very small sample size of what the needle and haystacks would say on dating apps these days. And again, I don't know if this, I have a conspiracy theory. There's someone who wants to decrease the global population by convincing women to wear the nose rings, the cow one. That's one of my lately conspiracy theories. I don't know who's telling these gals it's attractive. Spoiler, it's not. Someone by the name of What Did You Say said, quote, Trump derangement syndrome is real. And it's an animated picture of Trump in the sky being the sun. And all the leftist gals with the short, colorful hair all crying, getting 2.5 thousand likes. Bruce Blau says, this must be satire. No way people are this emotionally wrecked over an election, getting 1.5 thousand likes, which, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, we saw a lot of people broke down in the 2016 election. That one gal famously fell to her knees and cried in anguish, and she was so irate that Trump won. You have somebody named Kimberly saying, quote, I was on Match once, and it was the first thing I said. Trump supporter MAGA got about 50 super disgusting death replies. Jeez, soy boys are saying that. Got banned for sending them a pic of myself with a gun back. Dating sites suck bad. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Dating sites are usually, terrible in general as well. I'd agree on that statement. Scrolling down more and more. Who is this individual right here? Nate says, why do they like this? It's an NPC girl says, I should film my mental breakdown and post it online. Getting 3.4 thousand likes, which, I don't know who's telling these people like it's a good thing to do that. Definitely doesn't make them seem stable or intelligent. Let's see. MAGA teacher for Trump says Trump supporters have standards. She's not at risk. Well, it got 299 likes. Yeah, make it 300 likes actually. Also, Trad says, I think Trump men will stay clear. And you have a bunch of gals who shave their head, and they have that picture juxtaposed with the NPC picture, getting 652 likes. Rhino says dating is about to get a whole lot easier, and has that picture of that gal saying, I'm afraid to use dating apps because I might be matched with a Trump supporter. There's a Trad guy saying nature is healing, 1,000 likes. Dean Dormian says no real man wants a liberal, getting 113 likes, which is funny. All the girls say, a lot of them say they don't like MAGA, they don't like conservative Republican men, but at the same time they want guys who will actually protect them, provide for them, aka be masculine. So I don't know what kind of delusional world they're thinking of or looking for. Let's see here. You have Jim Shiplet said, grow the F up, and his picture George Orwell saying, quote, it was always the women, and above all, the young ones, who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, the swallowers of the slogans, the amateur spies. They got 774. Let's make it 775 likes. Again, that's from his brilliant book, 1984, again, by George Orwell. They should teach it in everyone should read that book at least once. Spoiler alert, pretty depressing, but yeah, quite concerning when you find real government's actually more evil than the one that was described in the book. And definitely good read. Molly Pitcher says, well, she's mentally unstable, so she fits perfectly with the Democrat Party, getting 712 likes. Christian Tate says, well, I certainly swipe left. Good news, lady, your odds have just dropped, getting 808 likes. Right Guy says, being a psychiatrist these days must be a booming business, getting 630 likes. Sure seems like half the podcasters are sponsored by those stupid BetterHelp apps. Scrolling down more and more. Let's see. Republican Canadian girl says, okay, they've got to be faking this at this point, right? Getting 150 likes, which I hope so. Another Canadian. Aaron says, my gosh, woman, pull yourself together and have some self-respect. Is that asking too much? That's asking too much, isn't it? 179, it's 180 likes. A lot of memes. Mr. TTT says, nailed it. And it's a quote from Thomas Sowell saying, quote, it is usually futile to talk facts and analysis to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance. Getting 34 likes and fact check true. So, let me know in the comments, do you see a lot of this on dating profiles in terms of people promulgating their political ideals? I mean, personally, I usually mention like my religion, and I haven't noticed a political filter yet, or like you drop down. I don't know. I guess I do say conservative, but I don't think they specify like political candidates. Do you put that in your dating profile? And yeah, I don't know if it'd be trolling, but should I just get a mag hat and put that on screen one? Maybe. Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have Jen Psaki saying that men competing in female sports isn't an issue. All while a man recently paralyzed a woman in a volleyball match. And in true disgusting form, he laughed, because, spoiler alert, well, yeah, he's a piece of shit. Pardon the French. Now this comes to us thanks to Lives of TikTok, in which she says, quote, Jen Psaki says that males playing in girls' sports is a right-wing lie, and blatantly, ever happens, it's not an issue at all. And she says there isn't evidence that male pose a risk to the safety of girls. Unreal, Democrats learned nothing. Man, I don't know if they learned nothing, and that's a quote from Lives TikTok, but I think they realize this happened. They just don't care. They don't care that women are having their scholarships stolen, literally getting beaten half to death, and sometimes passing away. It is so viscerally disgusting how men are allowed to compete in female sports, and they're literally hurting these gals. Now, we'll play, I was going to say, should have done a visual warning, because you have to hear and listen to Jen Psaki, which is, I don't know, viscerally disgusting for most people. But I'll give a little bit of warning next time. But first, we'll actually pull up this article from the Daily Mail, in which they say, quote, exclusive, a female volleyball player aged 17 was left paralyzed with brain damage by a transgender opponent who cackled with delight after knocking her to the ground. Yeah, that's the type of people that will compete in female sports. Evil, mentally vacuous, disgusting. Yeah, that's terrible. Now, let's do a Jen Psaki hacky.
Lines that ran over.
Oh, there she is. I usually give people accolades for suiting up and having unique colors, but something on a light teal blue suit on a gal, it doesn't look good.
Lines that ran over and over again in those ads and throughout right-wing media is this idea that America is faced with a crisis of boys playing in girls' sports. Now, these ads created this perception that the issues of trans kids playing sports was dominating schools across the country, which is completely false. Some people got pulled into that argument. I mean, immediately after the election, Congressman Seth Moulton told the New York Times that, quote, Democrats spend way too much time trying not to offend anyone rather than being brutally honest about the challenges many Americans face. I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. And then last weekend, Congressman Moulton came on this network to discuss those comments.
I was just speaking authentically as a dad about one of many issues where I think we're just out of touch with the majority of voters. And I stand by my position. You know, maybe I didn't get all the words exactly right. But the point is that the backlash I've received proves my point that we can't even have these discussions as a party.
Look, reflection is good. But if that were actually an issue at thousands of schools across the country, it would be worthy of a debate. But there are just incredibly few examples.
Remember, the leftist methodology is always the same. 1, it's not happening. 2, well, it's happening, but just a little bit. 3, yes, it is happening, and it's a good thing. You should tolerate it. 4, it's happening, and you should embrace it. 5, it's happening, you should celebrate it. You see this with every controversial thing leftists always do.
Of transgender girls playing in youth sports. And when we see those examples, there isn't evidence that these kids are a threat to safety or fairness.
I don't know how dumb I mean, oh man, that'd be No. I was about to say how she might be the dumbest gal on the planet. You can't beat Kamala Harris. She wins that trophy. I can't comprehend anyone more mentally vacuous than her. Jen Psaki was, for a minute there, I was thinking it, but no. It's you can't beat Kamala in that metric. Which, yeah, spoiler, people have been, you see this actually globally, a lot of sports teams where these girls are literally having bones broken, being sent to hospitals, in addition to monetary and also career opportunity losses where they're having their scholarships stolen. They have the places in competitive sports just completely wiped away. It's ridiculous. And I think Trump's going to put a stop to this. And I think that'll be, again, it's not, I don't know if it's going to be one of his top 10 accomplishments as president this time around, but it's going to be a big accomplishment. And it's going to save a lot of gals' careers and their health. Now, this didn't go as far as I thought it should. It got about 350,000 views as well as 13,000 likes. One of the first comments, unfortunately, I say that because this is from Planet of Memes. Again, they did not respond in meme form, but Planet of Memes did say Jen Psaki is a disgrace and completely tone deaf to the situation, getting 197 likes. Livercut Media TM says, one way to stop this insanity, girls must continue to reject playing teams that contain boys in them. Remember, parents, tell your kids. And there's a compilation of every type of identity flag. It says no one has to go along with this weird shit, getting 135 likes. Paul Zupa says, Psaki trying to lose Democrats more viewers, getting 82 likes, or voters. Nikki says, quote, I think she's saying anything for a paycheck. No way she believes what she's saying. There's a picture of Jen Psaki, and the picture has text on the screen saying, the party that says men can get pregnant want to control disinformation on the internet, getting 182, let's make 183 likes. Jasmine Keith says, what? We don't care if it's barely happening or frequently happening. We don't want it happening at all, getting 248 likes. Let's see. They have like a picture of, was this like a Satan looking picture by Spider-Man? Also, Trad is a comic. It says this is her. And the weird Satan looking thing says, I'm non-binary. Didn't you hear me? I said I'm non-binary. And Spider-Man sitting next to her returns says, I didn't. And she goes, it means I don't identify as male or female. And Spider-Man goes, I didn't ask. And she goes, you're transphobic. Getting 25 likes. My picture says, Jen is a liar. Yep. And here we go. During the last season, the NCAA Leah Thomas competed in the men's division in 2018-2019. There, Newspeak, 1984, read the book. They say she, you mean he, ranked 554th in the 200-yard freestyle, and now he is now 5th in the event this year. Furthermore, in the 500-yard freestyle, Thomas was 65th in the country. Now he is ranked first place in the event this year in the female category. Now in the 1650 freestyle, he is now in the 8th division as opposed to 32nd in the men's division. Got 64 likes, and yeah, here's the perhaps the best compilation of two pictures that really summarizes perfectly. It says William Thomas ranked 462 or 462nd in men's swimming, then became Leah Thomas with no surgery and longer hair, saying, quote, ranked number 1 in women's swimming. Yep, and even the trans community, this individual is controversial because he never actually got the surgery that many of them argue is necessary to transition. I think maybe he took some drugs, but yep. Went from the 462nd to number 1. Yeah, fascinating. Interesting how, if there's really no differences between men and women, Why don't we see the inverse of this? Because inherently there are differences between men and women's strengths and weaknesses. See, scrolling down more and more. Here we go. Case in point. Hollow Point says, if it really happened, then she would have no problem banning it. This is again, the step-by-step. This is from Rob Henderson saying, quote, step 1, it's not really happening. Step 2, yeah, it's happening, but it's not a big deal. Step 3, it's a good thing, actually. Step 4, people freaking out about it are the real problem. 67 likes. Yep. Let's see. Adam Cringler says, quote, Jen Psaki also says trans women are women, so she doesn't think she is lying here, getting 51 likes. Broadway Press says, does she live under a bridge? How about the famous Leah Thomas getting 99? Let's make it 100 likes. Republican Canadian girl, which I'll give her a follow. She might still believe in freedom. It is unfortunate that she lives in the Canadian area where Trudeau takes away all the rights. Oh, it looks like she has the American flag and MAGA in her profile picture. She believes in freedom. All right. Republican Canadian gal. I'm sorry you still live in Canada. I know they have maple syrup and pancakes and beavers, but I hope someday you can escape to come to America. Now, she got 36 likes for saying LMFAO. What? Noah Frentz says because the party is led by quote-unquote men like Tim Walz. Getting 35 likes. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Yeah, this Olympian piece of POS. This is from Cosmos saying, quote, oh yeah, so this Italian woman, quote-unquote, worked in, or no, this is the real gal who got, she's beat up. Said, oh yeah, so this Italian woman who worked and trained her ass off was forced to fight a man and lost in the first round because she knew she had little chance to win. We all know that men are biologically stronger than women. Stop normalizing men beating women in their own sports. And it got 58 likes for that. They had a giant behemoth, giant, basically Sasquatch versus Princess, Princess Peach. I'm getting the cartoons and metaphors all mixed up here. But yeah, the Olympian beat the crap out of a girl, which is disgusting. Oh wait, do we have a contrarian statement? No, we don't. Pretty much all, hey, I never heard that one before. Instead of Kool-Aid, you got Fool-Aid. Liberal cult drink, ignorance included with vitamin DEI. That's a new Photoshop, and I heard that one before. And this comes from us thanks to David Sullivan, pronouns respectively prosecute Fauci, saying, quote, San Jose State volleyball and rally games would disagree. We've seen it in Olympic boxing. Quit drinking the Fool-Aid. Again, I got 4 likes. Let's make it 5, actually. Little more. Elon says this little commie has 0 accountability. And it's Jen Psaki with a white Russian hat. I forget what you call it, a poofy hat, but it has a hammer sickle on it. Getting 5 likes. So we'll see. I don't know how culturally relevant Jen Psaki still is, or how many people authentically tune into her, as opposed to watch her as a parody or just watch her to laugh at her. But yeah, we'll see if, in terms of mechanisms and politically speaking, if Trump kind of removes federal funding from public schools and universities that allow all these men to compete in women's sports. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility for 2025 and action item, so to say. But let me know, what do you think? Most of America, I think, is against that. But let me know in the comments. Do you think, culturally speaking, there will be an increase for acceptance of men fighting in women in female sports, or do you think we'll go back to the norm? Let me know, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now go over to the political podcast. You have some Democrats saying they will support Elon Musk and Vivek's DOGE, aka Department of Government Efficiency, which perhaps for the first time in a century or more, actually more than that, we'll see if our government is ever actually run efficiently. Obviously it isn't now, but could we get there? Las Vegas odds are small, but with Vivek and Elon at the helm, perhaps. Now, this is actually responded thanks to Elon Musk. He reposted America, which is a profile I need to follow more and more, actually. Probably one of the best domains out there in terms of, a Twitter handle or an X handle. And actually, let's see here. Elon Musk says, much appreciated, Senator Chris Coons. This is Democrat Senator Chris Coons on DOGE. And let's see here, only about 50 seconds. See what he has to say here. Looks like it's also, oh wow, it's actually recorded on Fox News, which somehow still in business.
Some Democrats are getting on board with the idea of DOGE, even if they think the goal of cutting $2 trillion of government spending is a little too lofty.
But they could save tens or even hundreds of billions of dollars. Depending on how it's structured and what they do, this could be a constructive undertaking that ought to be embraced.
And as you know, John, Musk is famous for cutting costs at his companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and there's some reporting that when he bought X, or Twitter back then, he went line by line through their budgets and cut all sorts of costs out, looking to do the same thing with the federal government.
I was saying to Mr. Wonderful this morning that if Elon Musk could successfully leverage X to embarrass people into getting off the government dole, then that $44 billion he paid for it would probably turn out to be a bargain.
All right. That'd be pretty nice. Got pretty follow. Again, Elon responded saying, much appreciated. Senator Chris Coons got 11.4 million views and 70,000 likes. Well, the first comments come from Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, overshoot his expectations. The American people want to see dramatic reforms and expensive cuts. Eliminate entire agencies, getting 602 likes. I agree. Way too many agencies out there. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, this has to happen. We're almost bankrupt, getting 312 likes, which, yeah, again, we're $36 trillion in debt thanks to the ineptitudes and or corruption of Democrats and Republicans. It's ridiculous. We now spend more on the interest of our loans than we do on defense. Again, we're not paying down the principal, that's just paying the interest. AKA not sustainable. AKA, the profile name also says trillions is the goal, getting 229 likes. Planet of Memes, breaking my heart today. They did not, in fact, respond in meme form again. This alleged Planet of Memes says bipartisan support for DOGE is super awesome, getting 124, so making 125 likes. Now, don't get me wrong, this is one Democrat. We'll see how many follow suit. There's a lot of, what's the nice way of saying corruption in Washington, D.C.? One hand washing the other. We're a lot, and again, it goes across the aisle. A lot of rhinos out there, too. It's one of those things where they'll argue that, oh, yeah, well, we need this agency because it, it creates jobs. Well, let's be honest, it really just wastes money more often than not. But I wonder how many of them will push back against this. Maybe. Livercat Media TM says, quote, wow, we was shocked to see a Democrat, let alone one that pushed the whole Project 2025 lie for months to come out as supporting DOGE. Nonetheless, we'll take the bipartisan support, getting 52 likes. Junita Broderick says, quote, there's a shock coming from, what is this? I forget what his first name is. Senator Chris Coons. And she says, good for him, getting 322 likes. Wall Street Ape says, we're looking for a 90% reduction in the federal government and spending, the American people. Getting 493 likes. Anti-woke memes, they gained A+ for marketing. They did, in fact, respond in meme form. Said, we need to make America great again before it's too late. And then they have a meme, says, quote, the people who said Trump would crash the U.S. economy and start World War III have now crashed the economy and started World War III, getting 42 likes, which, yeah, hopefully Trump puts an end to most of these wars and gets everything back on track. Anti-left memes, again, they get good marketing points. They, in fact, responded in meme form, saying Milei proved it works. And they have a picture of Javier Milei saying, quote, since his victory, Argentinian President Javier Milei has, quote, fired 5,000 government employees. Oh my gosh. Again, I'm not crying, but this is so beautiful. For a second, I might. He eliminated 380,000 government regulations. That's beautiful. That's what we need in the United States. He also eliminated 12 of 21 cabinet posts, opened up the oil industry, and proposed welfare cuts for people who block roads. Proposed welfare cuts for people who block roads, getting 97 likes. You have an anti-woke meme also says we're all about to cut away our national debt. It's a picture of Elon and Vivek with the DOGE sign AI generator, getting 93 likes. Anti-woke memes also says abolish the IRS. There's someone with a mask on their face, and the mask is labeled taxation. It says, hey, taxation, why do you always wear a mask? And it takes off the mask that says taxation, says, and his face is really labeled Dept. He goes, let's keep that on. Got 25 likes. A couple AI generated pictures of Elon Musk and Vivek with chainsaws. Let's see. Going down more and more. Oh, it was Office Space? Iconic movie. And they say, quote, data will activate in 63 days. And it says, it's got Photoshop Vivek and Elon, their face and posted on the actors' faces. Says, quote, what exactly do you do around here? Getting 59 likes. Let's see here. Anti-woke memes also says Democrats need to wake up. And it's the meme where a guy is putting up clown makeup. And it's 4 pictures. The first picture says, even though I'm about to lose my house and my paycheck isn't keeping up with inflation and my retirement is now out of question, I'll still blue no matter who. Getting 52 likes, which quite concerning how mentally vacuous some people are. And there are some people that are Republican who will, whatever that name says next to the R, they'll vote for him. But interestingly enough, Republicans don't make a whole mantra and a whole cult ideology out of it. So I suspect there's a much greater volume of people who are leftist who do in fact follow that advice, that mantra, so to say. Let's see here. Sorry, there's really not many contrarian statements here. Tucker Carlson News Network fan account says, quote, considering our country is heading towards bankruptcy, DOGE is needed right now, getting 75. Let's make it 76 likes. Mark Thompson says, about 80% of the government cut 80% regulations, getting 16, 17 likes. Actually, I think it needs to be more than that. Let's see, a lot of people having AI generated pictures of DOGE, Trump and Elon. Yeah, I was going to say. And hopefully there's bipartisan support. Don't get me wrong, I would love that. I would love for both sides of the political aisle to come together and do something productive for a while. I mean, that would be a historic thing because it happens so rarely, but we do need to cut this spending. It is so out of control. And overregulation is killing small businesses, especially. You just take a whole chainsaw to that. So again, I hope every elected official gets behind DOGE and starts slashing away at all this federal redundant crap. But let me know in the comments, do you think most politicians will jump on that, actually get part of the program, they'll support DOGE and start to cut? Let me know, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Brandon Herrera, aka the AK guy, saying that he is open to be positioned as the head of the ATF, which, for those who don't know, Brandon Herrera is an icon of Texas. He's a firearms manufacturer, as well as he does a lot of things for the Second Amendment, including raising funds for a couple of the nonprofits, as well as actually going to DC and educating them on firearm policies and fighting for the Second Amendment. Now, this comes straight from his profile, and I also got some reactions as well. He says, quote, "I know I make a lot of jokes, but let me be perfectly clear. I am perfectly willing and able to serve in any capacity I could help, hashtag real Donald Trump, drain the swamp that is the ATF." It should have got more. Should have got more views than this, but it did get 762,000 views and 43,000 likes. How did I not like this already? Go ahead and like that right there. Another friendly reminder to click that like button. Now, one of the first responses comes from Firearm Policy Coalition, and I forget what movie it is with Jack Black, but he's just nodding yes and very happily, getting 1,000 likes, which, yeah, I was going to say, the NRA used to do a lot of things for the Second Amendment. Not so much these days. That's why I always tell people, Gun Owners of America and Firearm Policies Coalition are two much more efficient methodologies for your dollar to go far when it comes to fighting for the Second Amendment. Non-paid ambassador, just really believe in the causes that they do and what they've accomplished. We also have National Association for Gun Rights saying, quote, "Boys, we're close to being backing 2.8 thousand likes." BH says, quote, "Guys, let's be serious for a second. Let's let real Donald Trump know that we support the AK guy for ATF director. He's more qualified. Everyone like this will repost and let President Trump know we're serious." They 1.1 thousand likes. Now, granted, I think the ATF should be abolished altogether because it's unconstitutional. Now, in terms of the ineptitudes of the ATF, well, they're also corrupting after law-abiding citizens and destroying their life, and they have high propensity for killing dogs. It's in their training, and they really like to do it. Look up Ruby Ridge if you want to hear more about the integrity or lack thereof of the ATF. The current head of the ATF, by the way, couldn't break down a Glock, aka he could not easily disassemble it. Which, again, a Glock is, I would argue, the most successful pistol in the modern era. It's the most common one, and it's the simplest of all firearms to break down. I mean, it takes less than, two actions. You dry fire it, pull the tab down, pull tabs. You got to pull the trigger, you got to pull the tabs down, you got to pull the slide forward. What was that? 3 steps? And yet on camera, the current head of the ATF struggled for like over a minute to try to do that. It's almost as if he's never handled a gun, which may heads of the ATF haven't because they don't know what they're talking about. Reese says, quote, he says, quote, "What would Jesus do to 80 fans? Jesus would bless us with Brandon Herrera as the head of the ATF. He's a qualified patriot, getting 258 likes now." The meme merchant says, "LFG got the ATF. The ATF says anything, and me says, you're wrong and I hate you." Getting 1,000 likes. It's a screenshot of Brandon Herrera on his gun reviews. Garrett Romy says, "Make both legal," and says, "It's for emotional support." Sure, that's a belt-fed machine gun. They have an emotional support dog carrier around, I believe that's the M70, the Rambo one. Or Rambo made it famous. I got 265 likes. Dedrick Erdrid says, quote, "You're the only person I want to see that position," getting 234 likes. 9mm SMG says, "I support this," getting 886 likes. Let's see here. Farmer Stooley says, "The director of ATF should always be a Texan," IMO, getting 501 likes. Steve Pierowski says, "I can't wait to see the cursed gun images videos that would be like you as the director of ATF. I believe there's some real cursed guns images in the ATF files. Speaking of this, when is the next CGI video?" Getting 46 likes. Let's see here. Dave and Flawley says, "No more dead dogs. My vote is to the the 8K guy." Getting 31 likes. Triple Cowboy says, "I would love to see someone who actually understands firearms take over the agency," getting 22 likes. Let's see. Ted Smoot says, "Get a petition or something," getting 30 likes. Which, yeah, I mean, day one, I can't help but I can't help but think you probably go, "We're no longer enforcing the NFA Act of 1934. Like, that would be pretty nice. The government just stopped enforcing that altogether. which that unconstitutional piece of crap. Republicans say they're pro-gun. They need to repeal that ASAP. They have all the things they need. They got the House, they got the Senate, they got the White House. On Republicans, you say they're pro-gun, repeal the NFA, and write to your officials on state level. Let them know you want them to repeal the NFA Act of 1934 so you can more easily buy things that are in, the Constitutional says you should be able to own easily, like suppressors, short-barrel rifles, short-barrel shotguns, machine guns, destructive devices, which right now you have to pay an extortion tax of $200 tax stamp. Thanks God for inflation. Thank God for inflation this one time because that was passed in 1934. That'd be around $4,000 now. Also have to have more hoops to jump through than anything. It takes about 6 months to get back as a trust. Ridiculous. So yeah, he's saying he's open to it. A lot of people on the internet saying, they nominate him. I mean, he's one of the most pro-gun guys out there. So that'd be great. I mean, in terms of Trump really doing some radical things, it would be it. Actually, have someone pro-gun and someone who believes in the Second Amendment leading the ATF, hopefully dismantling it. But let me know. I mean, Trump's had some pretty unique appointments lately. Do you think he would go for Brand Herrera? And I mean, do you think Republicans will really fight for gun rights? I mean, again, the NFA has been around since 1934, and they still haven't been able to repeal it. So I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm pretty pessimistic, but I mean, I want to be optimistic. And of all the times in my lifetime where I think there could be some realistic, more pro-gun things happening, I think this is it. So hopefully something happens. But let me know. Do you think we'll realistically see, more gun rights passed when Trump is in his office? Let me know your thoughts are, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have the Toyota 86 as well as a BRZ from Subaru. Well, they're now part of a class action lawsuit, which not great. And spoiler alert, they're made in the same factory, but simply swipe out different badges. I mean, it used to be the Scion FRS back when Toyota had the Scion brand as well, but they shut that down. Now, this comes to us thanks to Caleb Jacobs, who's a writer at The Drive, which he says, quote, Toyota 86 and Subaru BRZ engine failures are now subject to a class action lawsuit. This is following multiple on-track engine failures that went viral. Owners are now joining together to get compensation. And again, in terms of styling, it looks pretty cool. I mean, right on the screen, you have the Toyota 86, a nice red coupe. And thankfully, it has one of the highest take rates for stick shifts. I mean, that's pretty rare in and of itself, so I appreciate there's an option out there. And years ago, I did test drive the Subaru BRZ with a stick shift, and I loved it. In terms of the balance of the vehicle, it's great. The horsepower, I think my lawnmower had more. And granted, it's coming from someone who has a Honda Civic Si, so I know also low horsepower. But at the end of the day, I chose Honda because it's more reliable. Because even back then, because I got a 2018 Civic Si. I mean, even in 2017, because 2018 model year, at that time, even then, there were already rumors about the engines, especially with I believe it was a rod bearing that kept failing. And oddly enough, the tail lights would fill with water and condensation. You couldn't drain them in the Subaru BRZ. So those are two really weird, well, not weird. Well, I guess they're unusual, but two bad warranty issues that, again, once it's out of warranty, you're screwed. You have to pay for it yourself. So that was the reason why I actually moved away from Subaru. Even though it had a cool Boxster engine, which, I mean, the only car company that does it is Porsche, and they do it more reliably, but this is a fraction of the cost. But personally, that's why I didn't choose a Subaru BRZ, even though I love the styling. I mean, aesthetically, the interior felt great, really nice, comfortable. The balance of the vehicle was great during the test drive, but again, it was that bearing issue at the time. Now, diving into this specific article, they say, quote, after more than one viral example of a horizontally opposed four-cylinder going boom, there's now a class action lawsuit saying manufacturers knew the engines were defective, yet chose to conceal it from purchasers. As a result, the litigation alleges that the owners of the sports cars equipped with a 2-liter and 2.4-liter Boxster are left with vehicles that could suffer from low oil pressure and eventual oil starvation. Arkansas plaintiff Laura Young filed the suit seeking more than $5 million for those involved in class action. Young bought a used 2019 Toyota 86. Again, it's in the Subaru factory. They just changed the badging and styling a little bit. They say that Young bought a used 2019 Toyota 86 back in October 2021. In April 2023, it suffered from a total engine failure. That's pathetic. With approximately 64,000 miles on the odometer, which is nothing for a car. Especially modern cars, they last easily 150, 200,000 miles, especially if it's Japanese. And shoot, my car just passed 82,000 miles. My little Honda Civic Si only comes with a stick shift. All cars should be that by default. And my car's had one or two small issues, but still, knock on wood, pretty solid as a rock. It's also Honda. That's why I chose it. They say, quote, This meant that it was oh, that's why it's painful. This meant that it was just outside Toyota's approximate 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty, leaving her to pay. Ouch. Young's car is seemingly still broken after more than a year, as Toyota, quote, not replaced her defective engine with non-defective one, the suit reads. Of course, there are plenty of variables we don't know about Young's situation. Engine oil change intervals and other general maintenance practices are important to consider here. It's also unclear if the car showed any signs of issues before the engine expired, which we reported on this topic one time over the past 2 years, taking multiple owners whose engines blew on the track. One was a GR86, which, yeah, same thing, that's the Toyota version. Toyota initially decided against replacing the engine because the car was entered in a high-performance driving event when it blew, which, yeah, thankfully, after the media coverage, Toyota reversed the course and supplied a new engine for free, which, again, you should. It's one of those things where these cars are being marketed and they're being advertised and sold as track toys. And yes, you can daily drive them, don't get me wrong, but especially the GR edition, that's the one that's specifically track oriented. You even get the free track day, again, not paid in bastard Toyota, but if you get a new GR86 or Corolla GR86 or Toyota Corolla GR or Subaru GR, you get the free track experience with your car. I mean, that's what it's engineered and made for. So yeah, I'm glad that time, years ago, they did reverse it and they said, okay, we'll replace it, because again, they're using it as intended. Granted, in terms of warranty payouts, I think it's well worth the advertising, because on average, no, unfortunately, I wish everyone took the car to the track. It's a great experience. But yeah, on average, not many people do. The take rate is pretty low. Now, they say clearly not every affected customer was overjoyed as the same result. The lawsuit alleged that Toyota and Subaru used RTV silicone where the engines should have had normal gaskets. Because RTV hardens and breaks apart in high heat, it can flake off around and find its way into the engine's crankcase, which, of all the dumb things to cheap out on, I don't know if maybe this is an environmental issue and this alternative, the other silicone, maybe the RTV is better for Mother Gala Irk, but yeah, engines get pretty damn hot at the track. You should probably have a more heat-resistant option. That's ridiculous. The suit says that the manufacturers applied RTF excessively and clumsily during the manufacturing process, which could have made it even more likely to find its way into the oil and coolant passages. This could be what caused the low oil pressure and resulting oil starvation. Each of the following models were included in the lawsuit, which, again, is all the same vehicle made at the same factory, but slightly different body panels. The 2013 to 2016 Scion FRS, 2017 to 2023 Toyota 86/GR86, which, and you also have the 2013 to 2023 Subaru BRZ. And they said that, oh yeah, we talked to the owners, or reached out to Toyota Subaru, haven't reached back for comment, haven't given us much feedback yet. And yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, look at the comment section, a lot of people saying that might be one issue, but again, I forget what specific bearing, there's a specific engine component that failed on the one I was looking at in that model year. But yeah, there's a lot of the bearing issues. Oh yeah, one of the first comments comes from Nathan King, saying, quote, Toyota literally gives a complimentary HPDE day with a purchase and is covered under the warranty unless you abuse it or formally race with it. I did as a complimentary track day this weekend. I would think it significantly strengthens the position of the people who bought it. The car should be, built for it. And yes, definitely doesn't make Toyota look good. I mean, shoot, they're known for reliability. Granted, Toyota doesn't make the engine spoiler. It's Subaru that makes the engine. So, yeah. But in seriousness, this is sold as a track toy. If anything, they should be going above and beyond with these warranty claims and showing that they are a true enthusiast company, as well as, again, they make green things as well, or things that, at least on paper, seem green and good for the environment. But it's an instance where, for PR alone, they should be going above and beyond with these warranty claims. I mean, again, they don't have the budget, and they would lose money if they actually fly out replacement components like a Pagani would, which they're not going to do that. I understand it's an apples to oranges comparison, but the fact that Toyota's, they're getting pushback, they're not immediately, facilitating all these claims, and maybe they even knew about it. It'll be interesting to see at the end of the day what the actual, result of the lawsuit is, but definitely doesn't make you look good, Toyota. And yet another reason why I'm not a fan of that particular vehicle. Shoot, I'd rather get something a little more reliable that actually has a Toyota engine in it if I were to go that route. But let me know in the comments, do you think this will, decrease demand for the BRZ as well as the Toyota 86? Or do you think enthusiasts, maybe they'll buy it and they'll replace one or two components to make it more track worthy? Let me know your thoughts are, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, Fight the good fight.